Okay. It's me! Hey guys! No, that's so annoying. Hi guys, I'm sorry. Hi guys, how are you doing? I hope you're keeping safe and all of that stuff that you hear all the time. I'm back with another video, and today we're going to be talking about, like I promised, we're going to be talking about damaging relationships. So, that really just situationships, penetrationships, relationships, romantic, platonic, or otherwise, high school relationships, just our day-to-day interactions with people and how that can sometimes become problematic and stunts and stagnates and hinders our growth, you know, as people. So I don't know, I was just thinking that I'm gonna do a bit of a reflection session with you guys, because I was talking to one of my friends actually earlier today, and he was just talking about how, yo guys, you know how we've grown. Like, just I always do this thing where I always like take myself back to, I always say a year ago. Like, I always ask myself, a year ago today, where was I? Let alone to, and I am shocked all the time the difference that a year can do. I mean, even friends, like there were people that were like this, yeah, like we were close, like Brugge and Band a year ago, and today I don't even have their phone numbers. So, but I've come to terms with the realization that not everyone in your life is permanent. In fact, there are very, very few people in your life that are permanent, and that's okay. Like, it took me a long time to realize that there's actually nothing wrong with that. There's a time for everything. And my problem is that people come into my life and then I kind of just expect them to be there forever, and I really try and hold on to them, and then it doesn't materialize. So, I mean, when I look at high school, oh jeez guys, high school is a mess. I mean, I ever think of like our high school relationships. I think our biggest problem, like the biggest problem when it comes to high school, is casual dating. Like, we just date because, like, I don't know, I don't even know if I can say we're lonely. We just date because it's like a thing. You know, like when I really think about how much of my time I've wasted with people, like all of those times I stayed up until like 2 a.m. and I should have just slept. But I will forever say that I am a firm believer in the notion that everything happens for a reason. Every single thing that happens in your life, I believe that there's a reason for it, and I never wanna take it back. But like, we need to ask ourselves when we date, why? Why are you doing it? There are a lot of people that I've asked that, do you see yourself marrying your partner? And they're like, no. So what are you dating for? Like, if you're not dating for marriage, surely you're dating for heartbreak. Like, I don't know. But dating requires, to me, it requires a lot of maturity. A lot of it. But we mature with the damage, not with the years. I'm pretty sure that all of the growth that I ever achieve in my life, when I look at myself, it's because I went through something really messed up and it changed me, like, for good. So I think it's fine. So now we're gonna talk about that word that I hate, that oversubscribed toxic, that word that's toxic, because you know, it's like this. It's like when you're younger, you don't, or rather when you're inexperienced, you don't realize when shit is bad for you. Like, you get into these, I look at myself now and I'm like, I stayed for that. Like, I look at some of my old relationships and I'm like, Tadiwa, you actually like you actually chilled for rubbish. And these relationships, usually it's like, it goes like this. It's on, it's off, it's on, it's off. You block each other, you unblock each other, you block each other, you unblock each other, you hook up, you block each other, you unblock it. Let it go. Sometimes that's the devil using you. Like, if it's not meant to be, let it go. Guys, because the thing is with these relationships that we don't realize is that sometimes it genuinely starts to affect the people around you as well. Like, I'm sure you can pinpoint to a relationship at one point in time where you got out of that relationship and then you were like, but what was I actually thinking the whole time? Not because you look at that person now and they just look like an overdressed lizard, but because it's like, that wasn't meant for me. That's not who I am, not what I'm supposed to be. Like, I don't deserve that. And they stay in your life. Like, far beyond the point where, far beyond you. And these people stay in your life, like, for a very long time. Because you give a part of yourself to someone. And, like, being in love literally alters your brain chemistry. Like, you do things that you would ordinarily never do. And guys, even sex, like, that word, you're thinking about it all the time. Like, all the time you're thinking about it, but we can't talk about it because it's taboo. But even sex, guys, if you're gonna, I'm not gonna tell you to abstain. If you wanna have sex, go. But, like, make sure that you're doing it with someone that you're sure of. Because in as much as you may not want to admit it, every time you sleep with someone, you're giving them a part of you that you're never gonna get back, that's for sure. Or B, it's just really intimate. So if you're gonna do it, like, do it and make sure it's good. Because imagine, like, getting to the gates of heaven one day and you think of all those times where you had sex with someone you didn't even like and the sex was just terrible, and then God says, oh, you're a fornicator, and you're like, yeah, but my G, I didn't even like it, like, I didn't even not. My point is that, just, if you're gonna do something, do it with all your heart. But otherwise, be careful, guys. Like, genuinely, breakups have, I read once that, like, breaking up with someone is what your brain looks like when you're going through a breakup is what a cocaine addict looks like when they're going through withdrawal symptoms. And, like, every time you think of them and their laugh and you romanticize your past, even though you know that it wasn't, your relationship wasn't that anymore, that's the equivalent to an addict giving into their vices. So don't pretend like you can't heal from a wound just because you pretend it's not there. But just make sure that you are your first priority. Because, like, see, it's taken me a lot of these relationships to realize that, one, like, if there's any part of this video that you're gonna pay attention to, can it be this? You are your first priority. You are yours before you are ever anyone else's. You are your first priority, and self-care does not make you selfish. You need to put yourself first. Otherwise, putting everyone else before you is simply teaching them that you come last all the time. Two, no matter how much you water a rock, it won't make it soft. So if they don't wear a diaper, you can't change them. Take people for what they are, not the potential of what they can become. You'll save yourself a lot of time. Three, there are people that come into your life to teach you what love is not. For me, that was the hardest lesson that I learned, because the people that came into my life that I cared about, that I loved, and they were just so shitty. But then I would stay for their potential. But that's not what it is. It's also your responsibility to make yourself happy. And I mean that when it comes to romantic relationships or platonic ones. It's not fair. I think Will Smith said, it's not fair for you to get into a relationship with someone and then expect that and make it that person's responsibility to make you happier. That's not how it works. That's not fair. That's too much of a burden to place on anyone else, because you can't even do that for yourself and you're expecting someone else to do it for you. No, You work on you. You be comfortable in your own skin. You be happy, and then you meet someone who is in as much of a good place as you, and you guys complement each other. The love, the happiness, it overflows. Get ready for overflow. But literally, just make it over. You're not supposed to meet someone when you're in a heart. That's why they always say that you need to like be yourself, you know, like I can't stress I cannot stress how important it is, like, for you to have healed. And I'm glad that you guys listened to that in my last video, because I even saw like you were quoting me in your Instagram captions and stuff. It's nice to have fans. But another thing that I realized was that you need to learn to start doing things for yourself more. Things that are healthy for your mental well-being. And that meant for me a lot of stepping out of my comfort zone, having difficult conversations. But I realized that clarity is clear to see. That the most difficult conversations we have are the ones that are worth having. So if you do things you've never done, you achieve things you never have. And for me, that was realizing patterns that I had. For example, no, I really struggled to say no to people a lot. Like, I used to struggle with that, and then I realized growing up that no is a sentence on its own. No is a sentence, and anyone who truly cares about you and understands you will also be able to fathom that statement. And I realize that when I don't say no, I do things that I don't want to do, and when I start doing things that I don't want to do, I start having feelings that I don't address, and then I start acting out. And it's important to realize that sometimes you are the toxic person in your relationship. Sometimes you are the problem. It's not anything that you have to beat yourself up about, but it's something that you need to be cognizant of in order to be able to move on and refrain from making those mistakes in the future. And for me, it's simple. I'm falling in love with the sound of my footsteps, walking away from things not meant for me. Do that. Save yourself a lot of time. But the truth is that most of the time, when I've grown so much this year. Like, this year the world is falling apart. But in terms of, like, for me internally, I made it this far, and I'm proud because I look at who I was like a year ago, and I'm speechless. Guys, I cannot stress enough the fact that the people that you surround yourself with is crucial. I had so many people that don't like me. I had friends that didn't like me. Imagine, it sounds stupid when I say it, right? But I had friends that didn't like me. The people around me didn't want what was best for me, and I knew those people. You know the people in your life that aren't healthy for you, but I kept them. And then this year I was like, no, we're not gonna do that anymore. Anyone who isn't in my life, anyone who, when you're next to me, are you making me feel positive? Like, is your energy positive or negative? And anyone whose energy was negative, somebody hand me the scissors. We don't
have the facilities for that, big man.
I don't have the facilities. That sounds terrible. I don't have the facilities for that, big man. Those are facilities that you don't need to have in your life. You deserve a lot more than what you're giving yourself. You deserve love. So grow through stuff. Go through stuff. Grow through stuff. And then remember that pressure makes diamond. And have people in your life that are contributing actively to your growth, to your well-being, and most importantly, to your happiness and mental health. It's imperative that you do so. I mean, yeah, and you'll also look at yourself and say, wow. Because even now, there are a lot of things that would have bothered me that I just let go now. Because I'm no longer in a position where I feel like I'm performing for anyone. I'm now just doing things because they make me happy. I'm just having people in my life that are doing that. But yeah, that's me and my mini rant. There are a lot of things that I forgot, but this video is now getting long, and I hate long videos. Please have a look, guys. This week, the YouTuber that I want you guys to look at is a YouTuber called Laura Bonginkosi. She's absolutely incredible. Her videos made me die. I watched a couple of her videos and they're absolutely incredible. And I want to get in the spirit of promoting small businesses, because we need to promote small businesses, guys. Support each other. So please look at, if you're in Zimbabwe, and Harare Girls, it's a clothing line called Niva Apparel. They sell really Vogue girls clothes. And if you're in South Africa, but she ships like everywhere as well, it's called Brightingale Fashion. She's a really good friend of mine, and she makes really nice Ankara designs. Otherwise, guys, be good, do good, see good in others, be kind to one another. I love you guys.